Good evening and welcome to a brand new season of the Radical SR8 Championship. The first round takes us to Oulton Park in Cheshire in the United Kingdom. I am Tom Cairns. Alongside me is Jim Cunningham, who will be with me to analyse the action over the course of tonight's event. Not one, not two, but three races we've got lined up for you. The first two being 15 minutes each and the last one being 20 minutes where the bigger chunk of points get given out. And we are entering the final minutes of qualifying. And so far, looking at the timing page, is that Mike Bousson is leading the way, although there could well be some more improvements as the session concludes. In terms of where we'll be racing this season, well, tonight we're racing at Oulton Park that does not feature either of the Britons or Knickerbrook's chicanes, or Hislop chicanes, I should say. Then we head to Belgium at Zolder on the alternate layout. There's the Sonoma Long Road America for round 4. Then it's off to the Nordschleife, where we'll be doing just 2 races, each being 4 laps long. Round 6 takes us to Interlagos, a circuit where this championship has not been to before, or at least for a while. Then we head to Mount Panorama, Bathurst, Australia on the 15th of December. Road Atlanta will be the last round before we hit Christmas, and it's off to Sebring on the 29th. The 10th and final round of the season is where the season finale has been held up for the last couple of seasons, the historic configuration of Monza. That'll be on the 5th of January. We'll bring in Jim Cunningham, who'll get his word on what he expects to see this evening. Jim, welcome to a brand new season of Radical SR8.
Yeah, Tom, good to be back with you again. And, man, I tell you what, going over that schedule has gotten me fired up. I am so excited about this season and some of the tracks we're going to. We're going to the Nordschleife, one of my it is my favorite track to drive. Absolutely my favorite track to drive. We're going to Road Atlanta with these cars, which is going to be fabulous. We're going to Interlagos, which I absolutely am excited about. Just, great schedule. And obviously we're going to close out again with Monza Historic, which has been, a staple now for the last couple of seasons, and you and I get an absolute kick out of that every year when we go to broadcast that. So, I'm super excited, and we got a huge field here tonight. Looks like we've got 23 drivers in session right now, although 2 of them have not gotten on track to put down a lap yet. But this is looking great. Really excited.
I'm excited for this one. One man who will be looking to retain his crown this season is Mike Bousson, who took the title in Season 5 away from John Hutchinson, who's determined to get the title back. Ben Underdown won out in the AMS overall by quite some distance. He's not here tonight, but we hope to see him during the course of this season. There are a couple of drop scores to consider at the end of the season. Only the drivers' best 8 scores of the rounds. So it will be a combination of points from all of the races in each round to determine which points get dropped for each driver. So Ben Underdown could use one of these rounds to count as his drop score. John Hutchinson going over the line to the top of the timing pages on a 1 minute 18.2, and I did say that he is determined to get his title back. I will completely stand correct with that.
Yeah, the Flying Scot was not messing around there at all. He put it right to the top of the timing board. That's good to see. Good to see John in form. I think with the last little bit of qualifying going on here, man, we got several new names in here. We're going to have quite a few new ones, it looks like, this season. This is fantastic. What a turnout.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll run down on the debutants as we run down on the grid. I think everyone is back in pit lane now, and the session transitions over from qualifying into the first of 3 races here at Oulton Park. And here we go. John Hutchinson takes the first championship point of the season with pole position, with Danny Beauchamp second, and the highest of the debutants, it's Paul Crabb in 3rd place alongside Luke Maxwell. Mike Bousson and Paul LeMay in 5th and 6th, and it's Jamie Bird and Jack Vesey on the 4th row. Matthew Richardson and Dave Robertson looking to impress in 9th and 10th. Then we've got Eric Killeen, the Irishman, the second highest of the debutants in 11th place, and it's Josh Reed in 12th. Back in the action this season. We didn't see a lot of him last season, but he's back in now. Luke Chinson and Eric Harmon open to impress as well. There's Steve Webb, who impressed in the AMS last season as well, in 15th place at Gert-Jan Polman. Ben Gregory and Stefan Millis are next. We've got Mike Mann and Michael Choate in 19th and 20th. Richard Williams in 21st place, headed to Tis Vasilius, and it's Mike Walters at the back in 23rd and last place.
Well, they're taking their time getting to the grid today.
Well, considering there's more, we may have a little bit more time before the lights go out, Jim.
Well, that's true, actually. Yeah, that is very true. Take a look at McCutcheon here while we're with his beautiful Scottish tartan livery he's got going on there.
Absolutely. And Hudson determined to pull clear and get his first points on the board. I do believe the point system is the same as last. So we'll run down on that in due course. Well, it'll say it's 20 points for a race win, and it's 15 for second. It's a point difference for every position downwards from there. That's the point system for races 1 and 2, but more on that later. The lights are coming on now for the first race of Season 6 of the Radical SR8 Championship. Lights are on. Lights off, it's go at Oulton Park. It's a terrific start for the man starting 3rd place on the grid. Paul Crabb has got ahead of Danny Beauchamp, and he's alongside John Hudson almost into Old Hull. But it's Hudson who leads the way ahead of Paul Crabb. Then it's Beauchamp in 3rd place. Luke Maxwell aiming to continue his impression from last season's in 4th place. He's in front of Paul LeMay, who's in 5th, moving up 1 place. Then it's Jamie Bird in 6th place under Jack Veasey and Matthew Richardson. One man who's had a terrible start, Jim, is the reigning champion, Mike Beauchamp.
Yeah, and also McCutcheon didn't get off the line well, but he recovered from that. But yeah, Busan has had a horrible start. But you know, the legend in his own mind will. I'm sure he'll recover from it. He'll just have to put in the work here early.
Hudson already pulling out a gap, run about 7/10 over Crabb in 2nd place, with Beauchamp in 3rd as they come through Nickelbrook for the first time. Hudson up the hill he comes. It's Crabb, Beauchamp, Maxwell, LeMay, Bird, Veasey, Richardson, Reed, and Colleen inside the top 10 as well. David Rollison down 1 position. Steve Webb, who impressed in the AMS last season, in 13th position. Had a good young Pullman who missed the first part of last season due to other commitments, but he's in the fray here and could be one of the contenders in the AMS for later in the campaign when the pros and the AMS get decided after the 2nd round of the championship at Zolder. But in the meantime, lap 1 is done with Hudson leading the way.
Yeah, he stretched out quite a nice lead here from considering the bad start he got. I'm sure McCutcheon gets around this track pretty well. He, you know, this is an old iRacing track that's been around quite a while. So, by the way, I don't know who that is right there running that livery, but that is arguably one of my favorite liveries of all time. That 7-Up Michael Schumacher livery. There it is. Eric Colleen.
Yeah. Eric Colleen heading through Shell Oils, albeit a little too exuberant through Shell Oils, and he's lost a couple of positions. He's fallen behind Steve Webb. So after being in the top 10 at the end of lap 1, Colleen is now down to 13th. That first lap, Jim, wasn't without any incidents at the back. We didn't pick up on that, but we saw a number of drivers heading for pit lane with damage.
Yeah, let's see here. Oh.
Ben Gregory was one of them. He's back on the circuit now.
Busan was one of them.
Yeah, Busan must have got damaged, hence why he dropped so far down the field. And we'll find out soon enough what exactly had been going on.
Here, just make sure everything's settling in here. We still got some close battles, but I'm going to take a chance and jump back here and look at one. So one of the things that happened was Ben Gregory went off track. I don't know if there were others. There's my famous slow motion replay for everyone.
Yeah, this is Ben Gregory here. And I couldn't quite see who he was. He's gone wide off the circuit. He's going to hit the tyre barrier on the other side. He's going to nudge the barrier, and there goes the bonnet there. I don't really perceive that as a rather realistic way for a bonnet to fly off the car like that. But either way, he had to come into the pen. This is Mike Mann at Nickelbrook, who went wide, and he lost a couple of positions, but no more than that, really. So no dramas for Mike Mann as he aimed to make
Paul Crabb just wrecked.
That's from 2nd place. Paul Crabb has gone off the circuit. The bonnet is gone on the Irishman's car. And that sees him fall down the order. Paul Crabb in an impressive campaign in Season 5 with a couple of race wins at Charlotte Roval and Phillip Island, has hit trouble already on lap 3.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm going to go back here real quick and see if I can find what happened to Paul Crabb. I just want to make sure that everything's settled in up here. We got a little action right here. We'll just try to let this settle down before we go back and look at it. As we have LeMay here, and I believe that is Josh Reed. That's one of the newcomers.
Luke Maxwell's hit the walls, Jim. Luke Maxwell has hit
my
trouble
goodness.
on lap number 3. So another one of the contenders of last season already having a nightmare. Oh, that might be the incident with Crab. I think those two came together, Jim.
Maybe. Let's see here.
And that is Colleen. We've just
No,
seen there. That's Crab without
already.
the bonnet.
I don't know.
Without the bonnet on his car.
I think that
And that's
incident.
pretty much the aftermath of it.
Yeah, it's not showing me.
But Maxwell and Crab back in pit lane. Well, Crab continued on.
All right.
And
Let's go all the way back here. This
much-
is very strange. Sorry I had to jump back so far. Okay, there's Crab going around. Maxwell went off track and hit the wall. Yep, and then Crab got tagged on track by somebody. Okay. All right, so that was that. Let's get back here. I don't want to get caught up too much in these replays with all this action going on track. We'll sort all that out. Look at David Rolliston's back out here. Hadn't seen him in a while with his nice tiger stripe livery. That's great.
It's a very nice livery. In fact, he's sat behind Eric Harmon. He's coming through the field rather nicely, actually. He's running in P8 after starting 14th. So good going from Eric Harmon. We're 5.5 minutes into the race, so the lap counter you can see on the screen is not what it's supposed to be, so don't be deceived by that. We are a third of the way through this first race, and Eric Harmon is having a good start to this season. John Hutchison continuing to pull out a margin of nearly 3 seconds, Jim. This is more like the John Hutchison that we saw that took a double figure number of victories in season 4.
Yeah. Yes, he seems to be currently back in form, doesn't he? He was, for lack of a better term, I'd say he was a little off last season, but seems to have recovered nicely so far as he's stretching out quite a nice lead. Almost a 3-second lead in these cars is a bunch.
There we see an aerial view of Hutchison, and further behind, Paul LeMay sitting in 6th position behind Jamie Bird, who took one of the final race wins. I think it was the last race actually at Historic Monza, where it was one of only 2 victories. The other one came in Zandvoort. Bird has been on the wrong end of some pretty bad luck last season, but he hopes to put all that behind him. I think with a congested field this season, who knows how this championship could play out.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I think that given the bigger field and stuff, Jamie was so close last year, and I think that he's just a couple of mistakes away from not making a couple of mistakes away from being right there as a serious contender. And we saw him improve as the year went on, and I think we're going to continue to see that here.
We're not seeing a lot of overtaking at the moment. I think given the nature of this course, I wouldn't expect to see too much, but you can just see Jack Veazey, who impressed last season in his debut championship. He's running in 3rd place behind Denny Beauchamp, who is continuing to impress for the Team Groen squad. I think he's the only driver representing that particular team, and he's continuing on his way and impressing so far. But down the hill they come towards Deer Leap, and VC's not able to make a move just yet. Top 5 finishers get reversed for the second race. The man running in 5th place, who would be on reverse group pole, is Jamie Bird.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm concentrating. I'm trying to get the numbers to come up on the timing tower. For some reason, the timing tower has blacked out boxes, and the scores the positions are not showing up. So I'm trying to work on that.
I'm still not seeing any changes for position, although LeMay is on the rear of Bird. This is going to be a significant one in who will be on reverse grid pole for the second race. And behind LeMay is Josh Reed, who's having a decent return to Radical SR8 racing. He's running in 7th place with Harmon 8, Rolliston 9th, and Killeen in 10th position. Steve Webb continuing to impress in 11th place, and it's Luke Tunison in 12th, Stefan Millis 13th. Paul Crabb, after the damage he'd picked up on lap number 3, I believe, is in 14th place. We've got Mike Mann, Michael Cho, Gert-Jan Polman, Tutus Vasilius, who had to serve a penalty, presumably for a jump start. He's in 18th place, ahead of Mike Bousson, with Richard Williams, Ben Gregory, and Luke Maxwell, who is down a lap in 22nd.
Yeah, he's had another incident or two since that one where he avoided Paul Crabb and ran into the wall. He's as Paul and Jamie here are going at it, which is not surprising. We've seen these two battle quite a lot over the seasons.
Yeah, and we've just seen a driver go back to pit lane. He might have been involved in an accident, but that's Totis Vasilias.
It was Vasilias, yeah.
Where's he gone off at? This is over at Knickerbrook. What has he managed to do here? He's got on the curb.
Oh, there he goes.
He didn't get off the throttle. He didn't get off the throttle when he should have done.
Yeah, well, Knickerbrook can really catch you there, especially if you're running the no chicanes layout where you're really flying in there at such a high rate of speed. Boy, Paul is all over Jamie right here.
Up the hill and towards Drury's they come. Paul LeMay and Jamie Bird fighting over 5th place. There's a few yellow flags being put on the side to drivers. Richard Williams is the latest, and off goes Bird on the exit of Druids. Does that open the door for LeMay to slot alongside by the time he gets to Deer Leap? On the inside goes Paul LeMay past Jamie Bird, and that is in through to 5th position unless Bird can fight back on the pit straight. The move looks to be concrete. Paul LeMay up into 5th position and potentially on reverse group pole for later, but now there's a back marker in the way, which is not convenient. And through goes LeMay, through goes Bird, in fact. So Bird is in fact back ahead of me. LeMay will be furious with that back marker that was basically on the apex to Old Holt, and he had to lift off, and that gave the advantage to Bird. What a shame.
Yeah, to be fair, whoever the back marker was clearly tried to get out of the way. They ran absolutely off the track there at one point. But, yeah, that's unfortunate for all that work that Paul put in. And now he's not only did he lose the spot back to Jamie, he's been thrust back into the teeth of Josh Reed here, who's right behind him.
Reed on the tail of LeMay as we ride on board with Josh Reed. A lovely camera angle inside the cockpit for the Scotsman. So it's not just John Hutchison who's carrying the Scottish flag around him.
Oh, I love his
Reed
helmet.
is doing the same. It is a lovely helmet.
That's
shades
awesome.
of David Coulthard, it has to be said.
Yeah, it is. Definitely shades of David Coulthard there. Oh, look, he's
Around the outside, he squeezed him a little bit, did maybe left him enough room by the time they got to Deer Leap. And behind Reed is Eric Harmon, who's running in 8th position. I don't know if it was actually a long return for Eric Harmon or whether he's actually competed or he's not competed in this championship before, but either way, he is impressing so far. 2 drivers out of the race so far, Totis Vasilias and Mike Walters, who never got going in the race. Luke Maxwell's overtaken Ben Gregory to move up into 20th. Mike Bousson is 7 seconds off the next driver he's aiming to pass, which is Gert-Jan Polman, but he is running out of time. I wonder if we'll get 2 more laps or whether it will be 1 more lap by the time John Hutchison crosses over the start-finish line.
So I have to say, it is quite refreshing to have this big grid and these new people to throw in with all the names that we know and we're so familiar with. Yeah, this is fantastic. I mean, this Daniel Beauchamp here, or Beauchamp, how would say it. That's the
I think it's Beauchamp.
That's the Cajun, that's the Louisiana way of saying it, the old Texan in me. But I tell you, this guy's fast. I mean, we know Jack Veazey is fast, and Jack cannot catch this guy. That's really impressive.
Race leader Hutchison's gone over the line. It is the penultimate lap of the race. There's a little bit more time for drivers behind to make up positions. Josh Reed and Eric Harmon, I think, were in a fight for 7th place. You can just see further back, there is Josh Reed in that blue livery car with the red and black car of Eric Harmon behind. And behind Harmon is David Rollinson. He's carrying that lovely livery on the back of it. We'll get a good look on that car maybe during the warm-up after race 2 is completed. But you can just see, I think given the fact how quick these cars are and the straight line speed that these have, it's just so difficult to get an overtake completed around here. Even with the slipstream effect, there's not enough time to just try and pull alongside and get through.
I don't know. My initial take on this is I almost kind of wish we had the chicanes in there. You know what I mean? To throw some a little variance in it right there. You know, where they have to come to that almost virtual stop to go through those chicanes. And I don't know. I just think it might have made the action slightly better. Even, you know. Oh, somebody's going sideways back
David
there.
Bird. That's David Bird who's spun on the exit dearly. That's a costly error from Bird, who's had so many of those last season. Has fallen down the order. He's down to P9, unfortunately. That should give Paul LeMay a good run to finish in 5th place and be on reverse grid pole for race number 2. How did it happen, Jim?
There it is right here. He just he sent it in there a little bit. Oh, I think he was still on the brakes a little bit as he turned the wheel, and it just his brake bias was probably set to the rear, and it just came around on him. But let's go catch
power down too soon as well.
Let's go catch up with John here. He's so far ahead of everybody. Now he's over a 3-second lead here. Follow him around for his victory lap.
3 seconds may not sound very much, but Hudson is in command of the race and on course to take the first win of the championship here at Oulton Park. And a brilliant way to bounce back after a disappointing season 5 for him in his title defence. This could be the kickstart to a return to the summit of the Radical SR8 Championship. But John Hudson, who exits dearly for the last time, and he's going to take the first win here at Oulton Park this evening. A spellbinding driver, has to be said, from Hudson. Dominant, mature, and well-deserved. Very well done indeed. Beauchamp finishes second on debut with Jack Veazey in 3rd place. Matthew Richardson, 4th. And then it's Paul LeMay in 5th place, who will be on reverse grid pole. And it's Josh Reed, Eric Harmon, David Rolliston, Jamie Bird in 9th place. And it's Eric Colleen in 10th place, ahead of Luke Tunison. Stefan Millis in 12th, and it's Paul Crowley gets over the line, minus a bonnet in 13th place. Steve Webb caught problems on the last lap, Jim, unfortunately. I don't know what's happened to him, but he had a really disappointing end after a positive beginning. This is over at Druids.
Looks like you might get some help here. No, I guess not. Oh, no.
It was put into the barrier. That's disastrous for Steve Webb.
I think that was all on himself, though. I think he just carried too much speed there and probably got on that curb on the outside of Druids a little bit there. Oh,
yeah, I think you're right. I'll take my word back.
Yeah, I don't think he got hit there.
No, it definitely did not hit, so I'll take my word back for that. But that concludes the first race at Oulton Park. There's a lot more to come, 2 more races to come. We'll quickly run down on the result here. John Hudson is the winner. It's Danny Beauchamp in 2nd place, Jack Veazey 3rd, Matthew Richardson 4th. It's Paul LeMay in 5th place and a reverse grid pole. Then it's Josh Reed in 6th, Eric Harmon 7th, David Rolliston 8th, Jamie Bird 9th, and Eric Colleen rounding out the top 10. It's Luke Tunison in 11th place, Stefan Millis 12th, Paul Crowd 13th, Michael Choke 14th. It's Mike Mann, Gert-Jan Pullman, Mike Busson, Richard Williams, and then we've got Steve Webb who crashed out on the final lap. Luke Maxwell finished 1 lap down. Ben Gregory also got over the line, but the likes of Totis Fusilius and Mike Walters did not finish. We'll run down on the grid very quickly with Paul LeMay on pole. It's Matthew Richardson alongside it's Jack Veazey and Danny Beauchamp in 3rd and 4th. John Hudson and Josh Reed in 5th and 6th. It's Eric Harmon, David Ralston, Jamie Bird, and Eric Colleen running out the top 10. There's Luke Tunison in 11th, followed by Stefan Millis. It's Paul Crabb, Michael Cho, Mike Mann, Gert-Jan Pullman, Mike Busson, Richard Williams, Steve Webb, Luke Maxwell, Ben Gregory, Totis Vasilius, and Mike Walters running out the grid. Prediction very quickly, Jim.
Paul LeMay is going to be tough up front for sure. So, I'm going to have to say that. Or Busson, Busson didn't, never mind, he's back further. But,
lights on, lights off, and we go. And for race 2, that happened very quickly. And Paul LeMay will pole clear of the rest, heading into all pole, with Matthew Richardson into 2nd place. It's John Hudson already up 2 positions to 3rd. A spellbinding start again from the Scot. Well, there was a car going off in the background there. I did pick up on who that was. It might have been Luke Maxwell.
I think it was Luke Maxwell. Man, what a night he is having.
Yeah, that's the jeopardy when you've got a big grid and you're down the order, considering how fast we know Luke Maxwell can be. It's a super start for John Hudson, I have to say, up 2 positions, and now he's in a tussle here with Matthew Richardson. He's going to go up into 2nd place by the time they get to Britons and onto the back straight before Hislop's. Hudson through into P2.
Yeah, well, this is definitely shades of the old John McCutcheon here. This is, man alive, he's flying tonight.
Absolutely. Richardson running out wide a little bit there. And up the hill they go towards Druids. And I think Hutchinson is good to be in second place and go after Paul LeMay. And it's been a super performance from Hutchinson this evening. And as you say, Jim, showcasing what was missing from him in season 5. Off goes Richardson a little bit. That will allow VZ what looks like Josh Reed's ahead through into third and fourth places. Richardson beginning to crumble a little bit. And he just needs to find a rhythm, get back into it again. Now he's lost another place to Danny Beauchamp, who's through into fifth position. And then we've got Eric Harmon next behind. And yeah, Richardson's beginning to struggle here, I think, Jim.
Well, you know, Richardson came in mid-season last season. My gosh, the off tracks we were having around here. Holy cow. And so it's, you know, this is a big grid for him with these cars. You know, this may be a bit overwhelming. And, you know, the thing is you get out of rhythm and they're just blowing by you left and right in these cars because everybody is they keep the momentum up in these things so much. As that being said, Jamie Bird is right behind him about to try to put a move on him as well, it looks like.
Eric Colleen went for a spin on this lap. He's down the order. Mike Boosson has passed Luke Tennyson and Stefan Millis for 11th place, and that's Jamie Bird getting on the grass whilst focusing on chasing after Matthew Richardson. Down towards Deer Leap again, and Bird is now having to fend off David Rollinston. For position there we see Luke Tennyson in that gorgeous livery.
That's right. Nigel Mansell livery from back in the day right there. Love that one too.
Go with it. I'm just trying to see, is that one with Alan Prost or is it one with Nigel Mansell? Well, I'm just looking closely on that livery.
It's the, I don't know, it's the Labatt's Camel Cannon. That could be either one of them though, because they followed each other. It was one back to back, because that's the same livery or similar livery that Nigel won the championship in and then left, and then Alain Prost stepped in and won the championship the next year in the same livery, I think.
Yeah, the car just gone off in the background there. I don't know who left a whole load of dust, but either way, that hasn't put off either Stefan Millis or Luke Tennyson as they go up the hill towards Hislop, or down the hill towards Hislop. And damage for Richard Williams, who has not had a good event so far this evening. But now we go to the battle here. That's Tennyson getting on the grass. There we see Millis. Maxwell has got back into the fray here after a terrible beginning. But he is desperate to make up for lost time here. And just ignore the timing tower for the time being. It's just where Richard Williams is on the circuit with that yellow flag next to his name. And yeah, you can see the graphic just updating itself now. So all well is good. But Tennyson is ahead of Millis and Maxwell is alongside. This should be easy picking here for Maxwell. No disrespect to Millis by any means, but Maxwell is the quicker driver as he sails on by.
Oh, yeah. Well, Maxwell, in theory, should be one of the fastest drivers in the field. You know, it's...
Oh, you just... That's Steve Webb charging his way past Stefan Millis at Cascades.
Stefan, where you going, buddy?
The two came together and Millis had to take evasive action, which he'll not be too impressed with. Now, these two have got history from last season, Jim. Do you remember Zandvoort when they collided twice at the same corner, but in different races?
They sure did. I forgot about that. Yeah, they do have a little history, don't they? They should go marshal together somewhere or something. Work that out.
I'm sure something will be settled. I'm looking forward to hear what Steve Webb has been up to at the moment.
Yeah, me too.
Considering that not too long ago there was the British Touring Car season finale at Brands Hatch. I'm keen to know how that went for him, so we'll get a word or two from Steve at some point during the season and what his plans are.
Let everybody know what he does for those that are maybe new joining us or something and don't know what he does.
Yeah, well, yeah, so there's basically an Orange Army, which is pretty synonymous with marshals because they all wear orange, but he is basically part of a marshalling team that go to a lot of events across the country, including a lot of either British Touring Car events or club car racing events. And we also met, believe it or not, at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. So he was over there marshalling this year at Goodwood, was Steve. So keen to know what the team will be up to for next season. He's not the only marshal involved in this series. Matthew Richardson is another one. Yeah, so Richardson's involved. I think Ben Gregory's another one. And you can tell by the livery of their cars. Through goes Hutchinson.
Oh, he caught the curb.
Here.
Oh,
he caught the curb, but he just got off the throttle and gathered it all up. LeMay is still alongside going through the water tower. And LeMay's on the inside for Druids here, but Hudson is coming back. Will they leave each other room? They do just about, but now LeMay's lost momentum has opened the door for Jack Veazey to head on past. So from being in the lead early on in the lap, LeMay is down to third position. Yeah, that was an unfortunate situation for LeMay there because he lifted a little bit due to what happened to McCutcheon and their little situation, so he didn't squeeze McCutcheon off the track, and then Jack took advantage of that, but it looks like Paul got right back by him, so all good in the end. Apparently, Steve and Stefan, that's Webb and Mellis, in case you're wondering, are apparently teammates in GT3. Oh, well, there you go. So they must have sorted it out already. It's all just good teammate fun then. That's okay. Seems to be quite a number of people supporting. Kevin is coming saying, let's go Eric and Ricardo. I think he's referring to Eric Colleen and Richard Williams. And Costa Funk is saying, let's go Bicky and Ricardo. Now, Bicky, I think, is referring to, if I understand correctly, I'll let him fill me in on that because I don't want to guess. That's right. Jamie Bird sitting behind Eric Harmon. Now, where he is in the race, I know we don't actually have the positions at the moment on the time, so but I will tell you, Paul Crabb gets past Jamie Bird. That's him through into 9th place now. Bird down to P10, but for how long? Because he's got his nose alongside Crabb, and he'll have the inside for Old Hull. And Bird should be able to sail on through, but Crabb is late on the brakes, providing they don't come together. But Crabb takes out Mike Booston. Oh my goodness, yeah. Oof. Okay, let's see here. Let's see what happened. I'm gonna do this, and yeah, I think Paul got off in the grass there a little bit, and then he tried to turn and bring it back on, and it hooked around on him and right in front of Busan. There's not a lot of times in Mike Busan's life he's been innocent, but I believe in that particular situation he was. That's all in good fun, by the way. People that don't know, Mike is quite a character. As LeMay's off track right there, and there goes VZ back around him again. We've seen a lot more Dyson in this one compared to what we saw in race 1. And it's the same story, but we've seen a lot more action here with Hudson leading the way and VZ now in 2nd place, who finished in 3rd in race 1 behind Danny Beauchamp, who's running in 5th place. Josh Reed now up into 4th place, having a promising race so far. Jamie Bird's got by David Rolliston, and that's Eric Harmon. Yeah, it's Harmon and Rolliston. Yeah, that's let's see what happened there if we can figure that out. It looks like Rolliston may have went off track and took him with him. Let's see. Now he got hooked. That's on Rolliston. That is completely on Rolliston there. It just didn't leave Eric Harmon enough space by the time they got to the braking zone. Was it? He cuts across on him, Jim. If you watch it carefully again. Well, let's see. I'm sorry, let me go back. I gotta see things happen fast here. Okay, so. Oh, yeah, he does, doesn't he? He turned right across his nose. I guess he had no idea that he was alongside of him. Interesting. Paul LeMay's back into 2nd place ahead of Jack Vinksy whilst we were watching that. Yeah, that's the problem. And there is LeMay going through Druids. And yeah, you are right, Jim. I think the problem we go to replays is we end up missing some of the action. But thankfully, we've just got the aftermath of LeMay passing VZ. Well, and now VZ's going nearest full of 3. I hate not to show people what happened, to someone, but yeah, there's just so much action with all these cars on the track that it's hard to take the time to go look at one of these replays and figure out what happened. Well, over 4 minutes remaining in race 2. There we look at Danny Beauchamp going through Cascades Corner behind Josh Reed. He gets a good run out of there, does Beauchamp. Will he be alongside heading through Island Bend? Now, the outside may be the optimal line, but the problem is all that gravel being left over by someone after going off circus. That may not be the best place to get an overtake done for Danny. But now he is...
He got a nice run, though, there. He swung that car out wide on the entry so he could get a straighter run off. Let's see if that pays off with the slipstream down here at the end going into Druids, I believe it is. I'm horrible with corner names. Not as much as I would have thought.
Up through Clay Hill and Water Tower that they're going through. And now it's the right-hander of Druids. And it does have the same name as the hairpin over at Brands Hatch, but it is what it is. Beauchamp is just sitting in behind Reed with there being only 3 laps to go in this.
Well, it could be like Circuit of the Americas, and they could have just copied the corners.
You're not too wrong with that.
That's our boss, James. That's his favorite pet peeve, man. He does not like the fact that they copied those corners. Look at this move.
Beauchamp's at the outside. He nearly dropped it, I thought, there did Beauchamp. Reed got back through into 4th position. And Beauchamp is under threat from Richardson heading towards the Shell Oils hairpin. And no way through at the moment. It was far too risky for Richardson to go for it there, and wisely just waits behind. Luke Maxwell, I will give a shout out to Jim. He's made his way through the field really, really well. And he's up into 8th place behind Jamie Bird. That might be as high as he ends up in race number 2. Now, the top 10 finishers in this one get reversed for race number 3. The man sitting in 10th place is Steve Webb.
Look at that. Well, we've seen Steve Webb on the pole before, good and bad. When he came in last season, he was not used to standing starts because he's a GT3 racer, for those of you that don't know the story. And so he struggled a little bit with starts, and he worked on them, and towards the end of the season, he ended up on the pole on one of the race starts, and he absolutely blasted the field with an amazing start and just left him in the dust. He took off so well. So what a recovery he had there with that.
Over up the field, there is Beauchamp behind Reed again. We've seen a change for position. I think that is Ben Gregory off the road. That's at Deer Leap. Down the order he goes there. I couldn't see where he was in the pecking order before that spin. I might have to go back on the screen.
He dropped about 3 or 4 spots. That was all. It wasn't horrible.
And just trying to rewind back on the stream just to see where he was. He was sat behind Gert-Jan Polman in 13th. Ben Gregory, as a result of that spin, is now down to 16th.
Things seem to be settling down a little bit here.
Well, John Hudson is about to start the last lap of the race. He will get over the time, we will get over the line before the 15-minute clock elapses. And there he is, though, in that purple and silver livery car. Polomay 2nd, Jack Veazey 3rd. Not over yet in the fight for 4th position. Beauchamp and Reed are still tussling. Richardson feels he may pick up the pieces, but now we see Luke Maxwell attempting to get by Jamie Bird. He's only got one more lap to snatch 7th place from his compatriot. He'll give it a good old go.
Yeah, well, and these two, of course, have a ton of experience racing each other.
3 Cascades for the last time. Is Maxwell going to dispose Jamie Bird and snatch 7th place? It will be another championship points if he gets past him, but it will mean he will start 4th place instead of 3rd for race number 3 if he does it. So he may just play it safe, and that's a luck up from Bird, and Maxwell did very well to not run into him.
He did indeed. Cut away real quick from those two to this right here.
It's not close enough there. It's Beauchamp on Reed through Knickerbrook, but up the hill through Clay Hill and the Water Tower. John Hudson is going through Druids for the last time. The margin's not as big as what it was in race 1, but it's not about how far you win it by, it's the fact you just win it. And Hudson knows that all too well. And just as he did in race 1, he's going to take the checker flag first. John Hudson wins at Oulton Park. 2 out of 2 for the Scotsman. Ahead of Paul LeMay and Jack Vesey. Josh Reed holds off Denny Beauchamp for 4th position. And then we've got Matthew Richardson in 6th place. Jamie Bird holds off Luke Maxwell to P7, with Luke Tunison holding on ahead of Steve Webb, who I think was side by side with Eric Harmon over the line. And so he was. And there we see Eric Killeen, I should say. Apologies for that. He is finishing behind Gertjan Polman, with Michael Choate not too far off. And it's Stefan Mellis. He will finish in 15th place. Ben Gregory, after his error at Deer Leap, will be in 16th spot.
Whew. All right, so now as we're waiting on the last few cars, we can actually catch a breath here, because that was about 30 minutes of some blisteringly fast action there, jumping from one race to the other, and everything. So we can actually catch our breath here as we get ready to go through the results, and then we'll have a little warm-up session, let everybody get out there and get a little time to cool down and maybe get a drink.
So here's the result of race number 2.
There you go.
John Hudson is the winner, ahead of Paul LeMay. Jack Vesey 3rd, Josh Reed 4th. Then it's Danny Beauchamp, Matthew Richardson, Jamie Bird, Luke Maxwell, Luke Tunison, and Steve Webb finishing in 10th place. And we'll begin race 3 from reverse grid pole. Eric Harmon, who was literally less than half a tenth behind him over the line. It could have been him on reverse grid pole, but he'll start P11 for race 3. Gertjan Polman is 12th. Eric Killeen, 13th. And it's Michael Choate, Stefan Mellis, Ben Gregory, Mike Mann. David Rolliston was the last man on the lead lap. Then we've got Paul Crabb, who finished, but won't actually score any points because it's the top 16 in races 1 and 2 where you score points in. So despite the fact he's finished, he's ended up with no points for that one, Paul Crabb. But
that's a nice problem to have, isn't it? That we have a large enough field now that everybody doesn't get points.
Richard Williams made it to the end at least, unlike Teutis Veselius. Just run through the classification at the bottom there. Mike Bousson crashed out after his tangle with Paul Crabb. Teutis Veselius struggled again, and Mike Walters didn't start that time.
There you go. Sorry about that. All right. So, what are your thoughts here on these first 2 races?
If we were at a different circuit and there was more action happening, if we had, let's say, Thruxton, for instance, just use that as an example, and we had this grid, I think we'd be seeing even more than what we've been treated to. Yeah, Knockhill, absolutely. I mean, you probably should have thrown that in. I should have probably thrown that in there to begin with. Actually, I'm surprised it's not on the calendar season because
it was a really good race. Yeah, it would have been nice to see it. But look, I tell you what, to be honest, let's bring that schedule back up here while we're under warm up. There's not a whole lot that I could criticize about this schedule. I'm not the hugest Zolder fan. To me, I'm not familiar with exactly what the alternate layout is versus the regular one. But for me, Zolder I hate to say it, but it just kind of comes off as a track of like 5 chicanes. It's just chicane after chicane after chicane. Okay. But other than that, Sonoma Long, I'm sure Sonoma's one of the reasons it's on there is because it had a refresh in the last update. So it's going to be kind of a fresh circuit. Can't argue at Road America. The Nordschleife, I mean, come on. That's, one of the greatest tracks of all time. Interlagos, arguably one of the best tracks of all time as well. I've literally never seen a bad race at Interlagos. Doesn't matter what car it is. It could be any car whatsoever, from an open wheeler to a GR86 Toyota. It doesn't matter. They all race well there. Bathurst, I mean, it's going to be crazy, but it's going to be fun. I mean, that's a tough circuit, but it's going to be a lot of fun. And Road America, Sebring. I mean, there's not a whole lot to fault in there, I would love to put Knockhill or Thruxton in place of Zolder if it was me. But other than that, I got no issues with the schedule at all myself.
I'm looking forward to see how they handle Nordschleife. It's going to be an almighty challenge. And you mentioned Interlagos, where Formula 1 will be racing at this weekend. The Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Could be a pivotal moment in the title race involving Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, and Max Verstappen. And we don't know what the weather will bring this weekend. It is a little bit of an unknown aspect to how the Sao Paulo Grand Prix is going to be played out there.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen was it just a year or two, within the past couple of years, it had an absolute, well, as they would say here in Texas, an absolute gully washer there, where it was just crazy amounts of rain. And of course, that they've had that track is famous for all different kind of races in different weather through the years.
We've just into the final minute of the warm-up session. I mean, 2 out of 2 for John Hudson this evening. Brilliantly done. Maximum points so far, including the pole position he got for race number 1.
Yep.
He'll be starting 10th this time, not 5th. How is he going to fare with this one? It is a 20-minute race, unlike in the previous 2 where it was 15 each. So he's got a little bit more time to make up.
I don't know, man. John appears to be back to the guy who was practicing a lot. He had self-admitted that he had was starting to race some other cars and wasn't putting in quite as much practice time in these SRs as he has in the past, and he maybe struggled a little bit more by John McCutcheon's standards, which means he didn't win every race. But he looks to be on form. I have to say, he really does. So,
just 3 race wins last season for John Hudson.
He's already got 2 tonight. So much for that.
Yeah, and there's a chance for him to make it 3 from 3. I can't remember the last time anyone got 3 from 3 in the same round. We'll come to that a little bit later. Steve Webb on reverse grid pole had a Luke Tunison with Luke Maxwell and Jamie Bird on row 2. Matthew Richardson and Danny Beauchamp on row 3. Then it's Josh Reed and Jett Veazey on the 4th row. Paul LeMay and John Hudson, winner of both races 1 and 2, will start in P10 ahead of Eric Harmon and Gert-Jan Pullman. Eric Colleen and Micah Cho are next, followed by Stephen Millis and Ben Gregory. Mike Mann and David Wilson on row 9, followed by Paul Crabb, Richard Williams, Mike Buson, Tozis Fusilias, and Mike Walters, who we don't know for certain if he'll be starting, he probably won't. Here we go then for race number 3 with Steve Webb on reverse grid pole. Can he get an absolute blinder of a start and end his evening in a very, very positive manner? We'll see in around about 20 minutes' time. The lights are coming on for one last time tonight. Lights are on. Lights off. It's Joe. And a brilliant start from Steve Webb, but not as good as Luke Maxwell is to the outside of the Marshall. And Bird to the inside. A little ambitious. No. And Webb is tipped round by Jamie Bird. Disaster for the reverse grid pole sitter. He's Buson down the order, and that's a bonnet gone. That's Buson's bonnet gone. What on earth is going on with the reigning champion this evening? But Luke Maxwell is into the lead by the time they get out of Cascades with Jamie Bird in 2nd place. It's Matthew Richardson and Josh Reed in 3rd and 4th. Though it's Luke Tunison's down 3 positions to 5th. We've got Jack Veazey, Paul LeMay, Danny Beauchamp, and one man who's not really made up any places so far, Jim, is John Hudson. He's in the same position as where he was on the grid, but he's had cars go past him as well as him passing others.
That was Veazey's nose we saw fly off, not Buson. I mistake the red and black car Veazey for Buson's red and black car, but no, that was actually Veazey who lost his nose there. But so far, so good. It doesn't seem to be affecting him right now as he's making a move on Paul LeMay.
Up the hill they come. Veazey without a body is doing his best to get back the position. He's going to find it very tough from here on in. He might decide to come into the pits to get that repaired. They may not want to do it just yet.
Now, with his finishes he's already had tonight, he just needs to stay out there and survive and just deal with whatever he gets. He should probably still end up with a top 10, and he's had 2 phenomenal finishes so far tonight. Pitting at this point would just be devastating, I think, to his night, so no need to do that. Or should say devastating to the results in this race, I should say. My God, the off tracks, man. I couldn't even begin to cover the amount of off tracks that
has it gone all haywire at your end?
Oh yeah. It's crazy, man. I guarantee we've had 30 off tracks already just since the drop of the green flag here.
Maxwell leads the race, then it's Jamie Bird in 2nd place. Maxwell has not had the best of evenings so far. He did come through the field rather nicely to come home in P8 behind Jamie Bird.
He's stretched
in P1.
Out there.
He has stretched it out, but for how long? I mean, it's a long way to go in this one. 20 minutes will feel like a long time for Luke Maxwell to hold on to the race win here. Reed holding on ahead of Beauchamp through Knickerbrook. Behind those two is John Hudson, who's now up into 7th place, carving his way through the field since we last spoke about him on that one. And he's taking his time with this, Jim. No rush.
How appropriate. Oh, there goes Harmon around with my favorite livery.
And someone else, I think, is off as well. Buson's off.
Is he?
Yeah, he's down the order a little bit, and that's Reed going wide at Deer Leap. I wonder if there was a little bit of a nudge from Beauchamp when they were side by side. But either way, that's Reed down the order, and Vesalius is also out of the race, unfortunately. A disastrous evening for him. Pullman's in the pits, presumably with damage, as is Rolston.
Buson jumped to the pits as well. I'm telling you, man, it is insane to keep up with this. All right, so
the fact that we've got more cars in this than we did in any of the races last season, it tells you everything you need to know. And long may it continue, because I want to see more of this.
Yes, this is great. So this is Jamie here, had an incident, went off track. I guess, that was just a little off track. Never mind. All right.
Oh, you just saw in the background there.
That's the one
such a wild way.
That's the one I was looking for. I think that was Buson.
Well, he went off further behind, but that's David Rolston, who came together with.
Wow.
That is really bizarre.
There seemed like there was more there than just, okay, hold on. Let's go back here. Let's get a different camera angle on that. These two are nudging each other. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man.
Naughty between the pair of them, actually. Because,
absolutely.
Buson was nudging Rolston, and it was almost like that scene from the first Harry Potter film where they play Quidditch, and Harry Potter and the other, and the Slytherin Quidditch player was sort of barging each other out of the way as they were going for the snitch. I think that's the perfect analogy of that.
That is the perfect analogy of that. By the way, McCutcheon now in 6th place on the heels here of Beauchamp. So
Hudson running in 6th place then, going really well, and picking these off one by one. It's almost like he's playing basically on an F1 game and setting it on the lowest AI difficulty. It's almost like he's making the other drivers look like they're standing still. Ben Gregory's got to slow down to his name.
You are full of good analogies this evening. That was a perfect one. He's the kid who sets it on easy difficulty so he can pick his way through the field. Feel like a hero. That's exactly what McCutcheon looks like out there tonight.
Tunison runs wide and he's lost positions to Josh Reed and Eric Harmon. Harmon goes through into what is now 8th position for him. We do apologise we're not able to get the positions on the timing tower. We do our best to inform you on where every driver is
I got
as
one
we
last
speak.
thing I'm going to try here. Let me focus. Let's see where put the camera real quick. It's going to take me a second here. We'll stick with this battle right here because McCutcheon he's doing the work. So we'll see. I'm going to go try something.
Mike Mann off the circuit in that Golf livery car. Hopefully he's not taking too much damage from that. But he is back on the circuit now at least. He's ahead of David Rolliston and Goetjan Pullman, who came into the pits with damage. It's race over and evening over for the reigning champion Mike Buson. What a horrible evening he has had in the defence to his cycle. There's a long way to go yet in the season, and he can use this round as one of his drop scores, providing he can do a lot better in at least 8 of the others.
Problem is I have to get out of the screen to make these changes.
There we see LeMay, and that's Richardson who is tussling there. LeMay is going to go past Richardson into 3rd position. Richardson down to 4th place. Oh, that gravel left. Yeah, I was going to allude to that. The gravel's left over from the contacts involving Rolliston and Buson, and that could provide a bit of a problem to some of the other competitors. Ben Gregory has gone back to pit lane. Another off for him, and that is effectively race done. Now, because there's more points up for grabs for this one, the top 21 will score points, providing they do finish. But right now, we've only got 19 running. 25 points for the race winner, 20 for second. It's a point difference for every position downwards from there. There we see Jack Veazey on the tail of Paul Crabb for position. It's the battle for 10th place. It's going to be very hard for Veazey to hold on here, but at least he's got a considerable gap to Stefan Millis, who's a further 3.5 seconds behind. And Hudson is running in 6th place with Beauchamp ahead. with 12 and a half minutes to go in this final race of the evening. How long will it be before Hudson gets by Beauchamp, because he's beginning to lose more and more time, and he is stuck behind the one of the debutants for this evening.
Sorry, yeah, I'm working on trying to make some changes here, but let's take a second.
Yeah, Pullman ran wide. He's a lap down, is Pullman. Beauchamp goes past. Will Hudson do the same? He does on the Exo Druids, and we see Eric Harmon attempting to get by Josh Reed around the outside, which is going to be mightily difficult to get it done there for Harmon, the American, chasing after the Scotsman Josh Reed. And Pullman is sat in the way at the moment. He needs to move out of the way as soon as he can. Well, Reed has got by, and that was a little bit tougher than he would have liked, actually, but he's still in front of Harmon for 7th place. But as we watch the field head through, Steve Webb, will give a shout out to Steve Webb, who's recovered nicely off that spin and tangle he had with Damien Bird at the start. He is currently sitting in 16th place behind Richard Williams.
So, is it any surprise to you right now that McCutcheon is having a problem catching Beauchamp and passing him? I mean, that's not to take anything away from Beauchamp at all, but to be honest, I thought McCutcheon would just, for lack of a better term, dispose of him and keep moving up, and he hasn't been able to do that. It's been about 3 laps now.
Jim, I'm going to interrupt you because Luke Maxwell, who was leading the race, has had an off somewhere and is falling down behind John Hudson into 6th place.
Right.
And that is a disastrous moment for Luke Maxwell, who we usually see him last season perform consistently when he's able to turn up. But this evening, it's been one to forget. After being in the lead at the opening minutes of this one, Maxwell is down to 6th place. And we're going to see what he's managed to do. He caught the curb. It's no wonder we saw that smoke as the field went through.
Yeah, he caught the curb there coming out of Shell Oil.
Yeah, nearly took out Matthew Richardson there. I thought they were going to come together, but thankfully they didn't. And Maxwell's loss of momentum has also allowed Beauchamp and Hudson to head on through.
Yep, he just dropped that tire over the curb there into the grass, and it just snapped him around. Ooh, an unforced error from him. That is unfortunate. Yeah, he is not having the best of nights tonight.
Hudson's closer to Beauchamp. He's not too far away from Matthew Richardson to move up into the podium places, but surely he's got to get through on Beauchamp. Very soon, Beauchamp's off at Knickerbrook.
Goodness.
Into the barrier, and that's race over.
Yeah, that's race
After
over.
a brilliant opening 2 races, it's a non-finish for Danny Beauchamp here at Oulton Park.
Let's see. Let's take a look there at what happened real quick. Oh, that's not the best camera angle for that, is it? Let's try.
He's caught the inside curb, I think, Jim, on the entry.
Why is it? It's. I can't seem to get it on. Here, let's do this. This is what's going on. Here we go. Oh!
Oh, he got a snap of oversteer. Horrible, horrible snap of oversteer at such high speed.
That is.
And that was enough to put him in the wall and out.
That was a bit excessive, wasn't it? Just like out of nowhere. I'm sure that's not how John wanted to end up in 4th place at all. And
he's got ground to make up on Richardson ahead for P3.
I think it should be said that Jamie now is in the lead, having a fantastic run up there for him. I mean, not that he's not capable of winning.
But he has had his mistakes whilst being at the front as Jamie Bird. We hope that this time is some recompense for the error he made. And there may be a little bit of a word or two between him and Steve Bird. Not that it's going to be too strong by any means, but they did tangle at the start at turn 1. And, well, that's helped Bird move in front of Webb on that occasion. Webb is sat behind Michael Cho in 14th and continuing to sail along.
So do you recall exactly what happened on turn 1, or do you just recall there was an incident? Because,
well, to be fair,
because Bird,
what I will say is
Bird put Webb in the middle there and took it 3 wide when he sent it up the inside, if you remember right.
Yeah, he got on the inside, which looked very audacious from Bird, and that was what contributed to Steve Webb going around, unfortunately, Jim.
Happy Halloween,
So that's the way
everyone.
I look at it.
You now have orange numbers showing everybody's position. That was a lot of work for that.
Yeah,
but we got it.
A little bit late for that. A little bit late for that, Jim.
I haven't had a chance, to be honest with you. The action has been so nonstop. The amount of time it took me to do that, I really have not had a chance. These 3 races have been so action-packed. The only break that I had to do that was during the warm-up period, and the problem was I couldn't see the tower during that period because it was off the screen. But anyway, yeah, well, it's something. Anyway, we got it for the last 7 minutes, and enjoy it. To be honest, the way I saw that incident at the beginning of the race, I saw it as Jamie sent it up the inside to make it 3 wide there because I believe it was Luke Maxwell went around the outside, and you had Webb there, and then Jamie sent it up the middle, and Webb kind of came over on Jamie, I think not knowing he was there, trying to get away from Luke Maxwell, the way I recall it anyway. I may be incorrect. But
I'm just answering some of the chat. Just to answer anyone's question there, Clonsterfunk came in saying, will they have enough fuel to the end of the race? Yes, they will.
Oh,
and
yeah.
There's no pit stop.
No pit stops. No pit stops. In lieu of a long single race, we do these 3 short races with reverse grids. Makes it a whole lot more exciting. Keeps the action much better. Tell you what, Paul is he's chasing Jamie down though.
LeMay in second place behind Bird as they head up the hill through Clay Hill, and this is the water tower corner, and we're going to be in for a nail-biting finish to what's been a brilliant round to watch. It may have been dominated by John Hutchinson in terms of how the races pan out, but that's far from being the story. LeMay up the inside of Bird into Deer Leap, and is this enough for LeMay to head on through? I think it is, unless Bird has anything to respond on the pit straight.
Yeah,
and it's going to be Bird to the outside, LeMay to the inside. LeMay breaks that a little bit later than Bird, but they nearly tangle and both go off the circuit. And Richardson is going to sail on past Bird into second place, but that was aggressive stopper. It's hard racing for you, Jim.
Yeah, I got to give Jamie his props right there. Jamie could have held his foot in that and wrecked both of them, and he didn't do it. He lifted, he went out in the grass, and he took his lump there and let Paul have that position and didn't push the issue. He could have stayed in that and wrecked both of them, and he didn't do it. So more power to Jamie on that, and that's a different Jamie than we would have seen a couple of years ago. He would have tried to keep his foot in that, and probably there would have been an incident there.
The 3 dicing it all out. It's about to become
nice.
4 because Mahutton on the tail of these 3. And what a finish we are going to have here. It's probably going to end up being a photo finish, which is something we've been waiting for. We usually see that at the historic configuration of Monza, but not exactly so around any other tracks, in all honesty. Oulton Park providing that exception.
So do you look at that long shot there when it's like it should probably kick around to the long shot here. Yeah, right here. And then you see that purple Scottish car coming in the background there. Can you hear the Jaws music playing in your head?
You said exactly what I was thinking, yeah.
Like he's stalking him down. Here he comes. And what do we got left? We don't have but a little less than 4 minutes. I don't know that he's going to have enough time. Maybe. It's catching him and getting by on him is 2 different things, but we shall see. What he needs is somebody up there to start battling. That's what he needs.
And Hudson will be hoping there's 3 more laps after this one because it's going to be very tight on the time. Richardson running in second place is chasing after Paul LeMay for the lead. There is Paul Crabb heading through on Jack Veazey, who is without that bonnet.
These two have been battling for like half this race together. Earlier when we checked in with them, these 2 were in 10th and 11th doing the same thing. And they're still doing it.
Well, Crabb has got past VC4 position into 9th place. Eric Colleen is in P11. It's Stefan Millis, Michael Cho, Steve Webb is 5 seconds off him. But we'll stay with this battle for the lead. This is the most important part. So there's another back marker that they're approaching.
We need to shout out MJ Richardson here. Okay, you know, last year he showed up. He had some decent runs, but I don't ever recall him being up in the mix with these level of the drivers that we've got up here right now. I mean, he is he's running up there with the big boys, you know.
That's Ben Gregory getting out of the way of the leaders heading through, including his fellow marshal Matthew Richardson, Jamie Bird, keeping his eye on that orange and purple livery machine. Hutchison's hopes of a hat-trick of wins this evening are fading away unless we have an absolute catastrophe involving the top three, which would see Hutchison take the honours tonight as they head on through Knickerbrook here. And you could just see, I almost thought like LeMay had gone wide. I think he did actually. Yeah, he ran wide on the exit of the right-hander, and there goes Richardson and Bird into the lead and into second. Hudson getting on the grass on the exit Druids.
Wow. Richardson. Oh my gosh, what a win this would be.
Hudson's got past LeMay, and they've just begun the penultimate lap. Hudson's got 2 more laps to make it 3 from 3, but he runs wide on the exit of Old Hull, but will he have the inside for Cascades? I thought he was going to run into LeMay there. Thankfully, he didn't.
You don't
and
think
Hudson's now back into the 4th place.
You don't think this is going to be the last lap?
No, I was looking at the clock when they went over line. Okay. They've been setting 1 minute 18s in this race, Jim, and they went over with around about 1 minute and 25 to go. So this is the penultimate lap.
Well, you're the boss on that. You always keep tab of the lap, so I trust you. Man, is it wrong that I'm really pulling for Richardson here? I don't usually have a favorite or anything, but man, this is what a showing this would be for him. Like I said, he came on the scene last season. I mean, he did fine, but he certainly, I don't know that I would say that he impressed. You know what I mean? Like, and here he is out here leading this pack. Look at the list of names behind him: Jamie Bird, Paul LeMay, McCutcheon, Luke Maxwell. These are. Oh,
there goes Bird. He was trying to find the gap. Richardson just about held on there. Has he got the power out of the exit and all the traction? He has done. 1 lap to go. The white flag is going to be waved by the marshal on the pit straight. There we go. 1 lap to go here at Oulton Park. It is Richardson leading Bird, leading LeMay, leading Hutchison.
Richardson wishes that was the last lap.
I bet. But he's got 1 more lap to enjoy. He's never tasted victory overall, has Richardson, in this series. Is he about to change that in around about a couple of miles' time?
Man, I tell you what, Jamie's going to send it on him one more time. You know he is.
At Deer Leap, honestly, yeah. And goodness knows, we could end up having that collision. I think it was Matt Neal and Gordon Shedden on the last lap in 2011, I believe, where Ben Edwards described it as they did a Red Bull.
But
that could be what happens.
Paul LeMay, if he can catch Bird, he may save Richardson right here. Nope, here he goes.
Look how close he's getting. Might do it through Druids here. Bird goes past Richardson.
They all do.
To Richardson? What have he got? Yeah, LeMay's got by Richardson. Hudson didn't do. I think Richardson's got a problem. LeMay's slowed down as well on the exit. Hudson's got past. All 3 of them. Hudson has passed all 3 of them, and it's into the lead. Have they run out of fuel? I think they've run out of fuel, Tim. They miscalculated. John Hudson is going to get a hat-trick of wins at Oulton Park. What a start to the season for the Scotsman. From 10th position to the flag, he takes the win. In 2nd place is Eric Harmon. The American grabs a podium on his debut evening in this series. And Josh Reed on his return to the championship is in P3. What a disaster for Paul LeMay, Jamie Bird, and Matthew Richardson.
What in the world just happened?
I'm lost for words.
I'm literally sitting here with my mouth open.
So Richardson slowed first.
Yeah.
Then LeMay slowed, and then Bird slowed. They were short on fuel, Jim.
All 3 of them ran out of gas. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? Oh, man.
I did think there could be a catastrophe, but not that kind of catastrophe.
And what's funny is
In fact, Reed also slowed down, Jim, as he crept over the line. I think Paul Krubb got through into 4th place, but the gap between them over the line, looking at the interval, it says 2.1, but it feels like a lot smaller. It's only like a few tenths, no more than that. But either way, no, it was a few tenths.
Yeah,
it was just 3 tenths over the line. So Reed did very well, despite running out of fuel, has kept hold of 3rd place.
What just happened? I really have no words. I cannot believe that all 3 of them ran out of fuel there. And here we are like, oh, no worries about fuel. None whatsoever. You know, I did all 3 of them run out of fuel.
Where's Richardson? Because he's not got over the line, Jim. Can you get him on circuit? Because I don't think he's got over the line. Has he stopped on the track?
Yeah, I think he's stuck. Yeah,
he stopped a deer leap. He's not got over the line.
No,
I think
somebody's pushing him. Yeah, it's Steve Webb.
It's Steve Webb. He's doing his best to get him over the line.
He's trying to push him, but he's jacking his car up because of the. Oh, man. That is too funny right there. Hold on, let's go. Let's roll bar cam.
I wonder if Richardson's left that car in neutral, because you can see the brake lights are on.
Yeah,
he's got it on the brakes.
Why is he holding the Steve's like, see you, buddy. Okay, that was some comic relief there. That was pretty funny. All right. So now we've got the final results. Let's go ahead and get those.
Yeah. Well, wait for Webb to get over the line, and then.
No, they counted him already. They counted him as stopped on track. So.
Let's run down. That was an unbelievable end to the final race, the opening round of the season. John Hudson wins again, but it's by no means that it tells the whole story. Eric Harmon 2nd, Josh Reed 3rd, Paul Krubb from 19th to 4th. What an effort from him. Luke Tunison in 5th. Jamie Bird over the line in 6th place, Jack Veazey 7th, Eric Killeen in 8th, Stefan Millis in 9th, and Luke Maxwell in 10th position. David Rollison 11th, followed by Michael Cho. Paul May over the line in 13th. We've got Mike Mann, Richard Williamson. Matthew Richardson will be classified in 16th place. Steve Webb gets some points at least in 17th. Then we've got Gert-Jan Polman and Ben Gregory, who are the last of those to take the
Crabb finished flag. 3rd, not 4th. Look on the results.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah, it shows on our timing tower that he finished 4th, but according to the actual official results, he finished 3rd and Josh Reed finished 4th. So he actually got by him as Reed was coasting across the line out of fuel. Where in the world are all of these people that we need to be interviewing? Why are they not in the interview room after that excitement right there? Are you kidding me? Oh, there we go. All right, well, but that's it. Anyway, let's get this off the screen here. Let's go ahead and pull Crabb in there, I guess, to start with and talk about that situation.
Yeah, we'll get a word with him since he got a podium in the unlikeliest of circumstances in that 3rd race. Paul Krubb, how are you, sir? What a race and what a round to kickstart the new season of Radical SR8s.
Indeed. I mean, at the moment, I'm 3rd for the feature race because I didn't run out of fuel like all the other Muppets did.
Yeah, Jim had to correct me as I was reading through the classification, but yeah, that was so close. I was convinced that Reed got it, but I think he just got it over the line. But I suppose you were the one that had the more fuel than he did, so.
Yeah, I don't know what we'll do. We might have to go back a lap and take the results from there or something, because it's a bit of an interesting one. We've never had this before.
I mean,
I've seen it before in other championships. Sorry, Jim. I've seen it before in other championships like Formula E. Formula E is an example of it in Valencia one year, where most of the field ran out of energy on the last lap, and a lot of them retired.
So my question is, were you at maximum fuel, or did you choose how much fuel you put in the car?
No, it's a set amount of fuel.
Okay.
But I did get a fuel warning that I'd need to refuel.
Did you save?
15 minutes
Did you start saving a little bit, or?
No, I never. No? I completely forgot about it. But then, as I was doing the last lap, it said I got 1 lap of fuel left, 2 liters. So I thought, okay, let's go for it, because I could hear others complaining. I thought maybe. It
worked out pretty nice, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh man! Well, congratulations. That was a nice run up there. and certainly picked you up some a little spots there at the end. That worked out well for you.
Yeah, it has for the moment, but
No, I
we
think
we'll see what
it's
going
got to
on.
stand. I mean, the fact is, y'all have no seriously. You have warning signs in your car. People should have been I mean, fuel saving's a part of the game too. So just like saving your
It's
tires.
true. Yeah, but I mean, I'm one of the few to gain from it, so not many others did. I think pretty much everyone,
Well,
apart from the few who stopped.
there's a guy
Yeah,
who flies a purple Scottish flag to gain from it. I'll tell you that.
yeah, it's interesting. P1, 2, and 3 are the Team Radline endurance team.
Hmm. Well, they maybe they're good at saving fuel because they're endurance racers. Who knows?
Yeah, this is
Hey,
more by luck than judgment.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, who do you want to shout out to while we have you in here today? First race of the new season.
Well, I'm sat in my cockpit looking at the big ESSO sign on the start finish line. So I'm a shout out to the refuelers.
All right, buddy. We'll see you. We'll see you next week.
Okay, gents, good to chat. See you next week.
Thank you so much, Paul, and well done on your podium.
Thank you.
Cheers. That was Paul Crubb we spoke to there. We'll get a word with. Shall we get a word with Jack Veazey next, Jim? What do you think?
I say let's pull John in, just because the way Paul was talking about, like they're going to change these results. I don't see that happening. I would like to get confirmation that that's not going to happen, but I'm sure it's not. So.
Okay, we'll get a word with him now then. Let's have a word with the hat-trick hero of Oulton Park, John Hutchison. 3 wins throughout the whole of Season 5, 3 wins after round 1 of Season 6.
Yeah, I'm back.
Doesn't tell the whole story though, does it?
I'm not embarrassed about that, but well, I was speaking to the guys. I think we'll take the last result from the second last lap. So I think Matthew was leading. You guys might know better.
Well, if you're going to do that, if you're going to go back to the last time they crossed the line, then your leader was MJ Richardson.
Yeah, I thought that. So I think that's what we're going to have to do, because that was a bit of a farce. Funny, but entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Richardson, Bird, LeMay, and then yourself.
Yeah. I think we'll do that. Definitely have to do that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
Well, so you haven't caught your last season's win total. Then you only have 2, if that's the case. But curious, John, just out of curiosity, what would be your thought process in doing that? Because initially, my thought process is everybody's has a fuel warning system. At some point in time, they all would have gotten some kind of indication that they were going to run short on fuel, and saving fuel is as big of a part of this game as going fast or saving your tires or anything else. Just curious as to why would you change that, for in case anybody at home is wondering or anything.
Yeah, because we don't run that kind of race where you have to fuel save. It's not like that's just not what we do. There should be enough fuel in the tank to go flat out all the time. But we're not doing any endurance races.
Right.
Next one might be different, but not in these races.
Okay. So your thought process there is just that you just didn't set the fuel amount high enough for the cars, and so.
Yeah, my mistake. Mistake. Not bad. I'll hold my hand up.
Well, and you're the one that's going to lose the win over it too. So, no harm, no foul, I guess. But that makes sense. I just wanted to clarify that in case there was anybody at home that maybe didn't understand what happened there. So we appreciate that. But you still had 2 wins tonight. Great night for you, and you were definitely seemed to be back in form. You must have turned the Le Mans Ultimate off for a while now and decided to start start practicing SR8s again, huh?
It's Oulton Park. I know Oulton Park very well. It's been racing this track for years now.
Well, that's what I said in the first race. I said that I knew you knew this track very well, obviously. So, well, congratulations, and I'm sure you got a few shout outs tonight, especially with all these new faces in here.
Yeah, good numbers tonight. 23 on the grid, so that's good. Hopefully it continues.
Yeah, it's fantastic. That's man, I tell you what, I was completely shocked, and to be honest with you, I was not prepared for that level of action. And by the way, amateur pro thing, we're going to do that after week 2 as we did last season, or
Yep, that's the plan.
okay, cool. All right, buddy. Good to talk to you. Congratulations. Good to see you back in winning form. And we'll talk to you again next week.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, John.
Bye, Tom.
So John Hutchison, as we understand, he will be reviewing the last race and decide what to do with that. Who are we going to bring in next, Jim? Who do you think, Jack or Matthew?
Let's bring in Jack real quick, and then we'll save the race winner for last.
Okay. Let's get a word then with Jack Veazey, who had been running towards the front. It's difficult for me to remember all the results now, considering all the drama we had in race 3. But
Yes.
sum up the evening for you, Jack, because I'm sure that was more challenging than a lot of last season was.
Yes, it was. Much bigger turnout this season, which is good to see. And race 1, I got 3rd. Race 2, I got 3rd. Race 3, I got caught up in some drama on the first corner. So I was nursing my car back home. But all in all, points-wise, it was a decent night for me. So can't complain too much. Didn't get caught up in any crashes. Finished all the races. So yeah, a good night.
Do you know where you? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to mention if what John's saying to us is going to be how the result gets tweaked, you would be in P10 instead of P7 for race 3.
Yeah. I was speaking to John a minute ago. So yeah, I mean, third, and 10th is still averages out. Probably 5th, 6th.
Yeah,
overall,
good night. Yeah, it's a good night.
So yeah, happy with the night, and hard track to overtake round really. I don't know what the next track is, but it's probably easier.
It's the alternate version.
Yeah,
it's older. Yeah, the alternate layout of it. Me and Jim were discussing, Jack, about the fact that there was no chicanes made it increasingly difficult to get overtakes done, and I agree with it. I thought the chicanes were what were needed to see my overtaking happen this evening.
I was excited when I heard that, Jack. I was like, okay, no chicanes. Yeah. But in these cars, we almost need those chicanes because it creates a slowdown for the cars and a chance for when they just cut loose down that long straightaway like that, it kind of took away some of the action. I was excited at first, but I realized midway through that first race that it probably would have been better with the chicanes.
Yeah, there is a layout of Oulton Park. I think the best layout would have been the one with the final chicane. Not much happens through the first chicane, but through the final chicane, you can get a really good run up the hill. So
you should probably tell the virtual version of that who killed himself on that first chicane, flying through there. And I don't know. I was in something fast and hit that tire thing, and it's like a rock wall, man.
The first chicane around this track is really difficult, and it's easy to misjudge it and just end up killing yourself basically.
But a good night though, man. You really did have a good night. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, good night, and look forward to next week.
So as far as shout outs, go ahead and get your early shout outs in for the season.
Yeah, sure. I'll give a shout out to my parents. They like to watch the league, so yeah, shout out to my parents.
Well, they had plenty of action tonight. Hope their heart's good.
Yeah. I'll have to watch it back. I watched a few parts back, and it was just mayhem. So yeah,
it was a lot of mayhem. I mean, the amount of off tracks were insane.
yeah, it's always good to watch back. So yeah, that'll be exciting.
Jack, it's been good to speak to you, and best of luck for the season ahead. You've picked up some good points tonight with the 2 podiums in races 1 and 2, and hopefully we'll see more of that in the coming rounds.
Yep, hopefully. Okay, see you later, guys.
Thank you very much, Jack.
Cheers.
I like Jack. He was a good addition. He really was.
He was, and I've enjoyed listening to him every time he comes
Yep,
on.
every
Actually,
time.
he had a stellar campaign last season, and there'll be more of that to come in season 6. Let's speak to the man who we expect to be given the race 3 victory, considering the circumstances. Matthew Richardson, good evening.
Evening. No, eventful race, that was.
I think that's an understatement, don't you think?
Yeah, maybe just a bit, but
Well,
yeah.
I hesitate to use the word given, okay? Because, man, look, if they screwed up the fuel, they screwed it up. I believe had you not run out of fuel, I think you still were going to win that race because you were
Yeah.
the first car that wiggled on fuel clearly, and that's what caused you the problem. But where'd that come from, man? Last year you were here. You ran well. I wouldn't say that you impressed me that you were going to show up here in the feature race and beat all the big names in the league. I didn't see that coming.
To be honest, I sort of surprised myself with the results from race 1 and race 2. What was it, like P4 and then P7 or something like that? And then ended up leading the last few laps on the feature race. Yeah, surprised myself a bit there. But yeah, it was good fun. I think I was in the right place at the right time in some circumstances, but yeah.
Since you're one of those that work within the Orange Army with likes of yourself, Ben Gregory and Steve Webb, what have you been up to recently with them, Matthew? What races have you been marshalling?
Well, I'll have to say I'm not a marshal because I'm still in school, but
Right, okay, I'm with you.
yeah. So I have not been marshalling, but Steve, I think he was at Brands this weekend with the race trucks and the TCRs, I think. So yeah.
Yeah, I saw a few Instagram stories from people of that. It must have been quite a good turnout, actually, in terms of the crowd being there. But yeah. But how are you going to fare this season then, now that you effectively got your first win under your belt? Is it just going to be one race at a time?
Yeah, I think it's going to be one race at a time, getting in plenty of practice before each race, and yeah, just trying to, I guess, be the fastest. So, but it's a lot of other fast drivers out there, so it's going to be tricky.
Yeah. The calendar for the season, is there any particular circuits that you feel you're going to do the best at?
To be honest, I've not really had to go at any of the other circuits with the SR8s at the moment. I've done maybe a couple laps around some of them, but I haven't really picked out ones I'm going to be strongest at the moment. So,
Do you have a
Yeah, we'll
favorite
see.
track of the ones on the schedule for this season? Did anything when you saw it, you go, "Ooh, I love that track"?
Well, I'd say Mount Panorama, but
There you go.
never driven them in the Radical, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool one for sure.
Anyone want to shout out to Matthew before we let you go?
I'm gonna shout out, of course, like Orange Army Racing. I mean, we had 3 cars in the race today, and hopefully 4 cars later on in the season. So yeah, I just want to shout out, Orange Army Racing.
Do you know who the other driver is expected to be under the Orange Army colours?
I think Darren's gonna be joining
Darren
us.
Nunn, that was it. Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool. Well, Matthew, thank you so much for speaking to us, and we understand that you will get this victory for race 3, providing it'll go back to the penultimate lap that was completed physically. And best of luck for the season ahead.
Thank you very much. Bye.
And so with that, we spoke to Matthew Richardson, race 3 winner, retrospectively. But I think overall, Jim, irrespective of who has come out in the circumstances, I think we were treated to a fantastic season opener.
Oh, absolutely. And good stuff. I mean, the last lap doesn't, it is what it is. But overall, fantastic. Love this turnout. This is going to be a fantastic year if we keep the car counts up here like this. I can't wait. So excited.
Yeah. And just comment in the chat. It's not quite Abu Dhabi 2021, Gregor, mate. I'm sure it's not that controversial. But either way, I think for those that's tuned in, I think they've been treated to a fantastic few races here to kickstart Season 6 of the Radical SR8 Championship. Jim, thank you very much for your company this evening. And thank you to everyone that's tuned in. Do make sure you like and subscribe so you can keep right up to date with all the action that's been shown on the JP Broadcasting YouTube channel, and you won't miss a thing. What a start to the season. It was a hat-trick for John Hutchinson, but judging by the circumstances with the fuel, for some of those at the head of the pack, it's expected to be overturned and Matthew Richardson to be awarded the first race win of the Radical SR8 Championship season, along with Hutchinson, who's got to nearly the perfect start, but certainly a better start compared to what he had throughout the whole of Season 5. We'll do it all over again next week on the alternate layout at Zolder. Same time next week. I am Tom Cairns with Jim Cunningham, and we'll speak to you again soon when the Radical SR8 Championship returns.